So I was just looking back through photos from 2014 when I went to the Okefenokee Swamp for the very first time. And the reason I was doing that is twofold. Number one is I found out recently that I get to make a return trip to the Okefenokee Swamp with members of the Augusta Canoe and Kayak Club, and I am just really excited about that trip. And then the other reason is I recently watched a video by Matty Hapoya, and he was kind of talking about the 5 things that successful YouTube channels do and the 5 things on the other side that unsuccessful YouTube channels do. And one of the things that he said that the successful ones do that the unsuccessful don't is they talk about things or show things that they're passionate about. And I feel like I've done a pretty good job of talking about things I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about video. I'm passionate about photography. I really enjoy the technology that comes with both of those mediums as well. But up until now, there's really been a third passion of mine that I think I've done just about as long as photos. And I haven't really talked about it because it's been cold. I haven't really gotten to do a lot of it recently. And that's kayaking. And if you know anything about Augusta, you know that I live in a hotbed for some great paddling. There's the Savannah River, there's the Augusta Canal, there's Langley Pond, Horse Creek, there's a bunch of other lakes. We're really close to Whitewater, going to the Whitewater Center or going up to North Georgia or Eastern North Carolina. Or you can go down to the coast and you can go to the intercoastal waterways. You can go to Edisto, Hilton Head, you can go to all these other places. And you've got a lot of different types of bodies of water really close by. And one of the things that I love about kayaking, and the Okefenokee trip is the absolute perfect example of this, is that you get to explore areas that other people don't necessarily get to see. You can maybe see them if you're flying over in an airplane. You might be able to kind of see a little bit if you're driving by. Sometimes you can get there by hiking. But somewhere like the Okefenokee Swamp, the intercoastal waterways of South Carolina, you can only experience them properly by water, by boat. And so the trip to Okefenokee, the first one in 2014, was actually my first experience camping out of a kayak. You have to take everything you need as far as sleeping bag, limited clothes, your toiletries, have to figure out, how you're all going to stuff that all into the how you're going to stuff all of that into the kayak. And on top of that, I really wanted to get some awesome photos. And so I've got to figure out how many batteries can I take? How many lenses can I take? What lenses do I really need? And so you're trying to figure out how to pare everything down to not only fit in your bag, but also fit that bag safely into your kayak so you don't lose it. One of the things about that trip was it didn't start off on the best foot. It was middle of March when we went, and so you're still kind of looking at some weird weather times. There's that false spring a couple times, you get back to winter. And so when we first hit the water on a Friday, I want to say it was cold, it was dreary, it was overcast, it was a little misty at times, I want to say. And we saw absolutely nothing. I think we saw one osprey, and that was about it. So Friday on that trip was just absolutely dreadful from a weather standpoint. Like I said, it was cold, it was dreary, but it was still amazingly awesome because knowing where we were, and then the fact that we weren't in an office. There were somewhere between 8 to 12 of us, and we were just having a great time, talking, watching, pointing to things, exploring. And we got to the first landing, and one of the cool things about the Okefenokee Swamp is that you kayak in, you canoe in, and you camp on these massive platforms. And actually, I say massive, but they're really not that big. They're probably as big as this sunroom that I'm sitting in. And you can fit probably six or so tents fairly comfortably on most of these platforms. And they're raised above the water so that you don't get eaten by a gator. You don't hopefully get attacked by a raccoon trying to get into your food pack. And so we made it to our first one, and we made camp. And I remember going to bed thinking, man, I really hope that tomorrow is better. And sure enough, day broke, and one of the coolest experiences I've ever had happened. We're having breakfast. We had MREs. People were making hot coffee with their little propane heaters and everything. And there's movement off to our side. And there, sitting on a branch, is a barred owl. At least I think it's a barred owl. It was an owl. and he's just amazing. And I was able to use my 70-200 to capture some beautiful images of him. And that just set the tone. There was a beautiful sunrise before that, but the owl set the tone for the day. We started seeing gators left and right. We saw sandhill cranes. We saw osprey. It was so awesome to go from the Friday disappointment of how bad the weather was and worried that we're not going to see so much as a single mosquito. And you get to see all of that. But with this return trip, I'm working on trying to already come up with what am I going to take in this kayak this time. I have my R, I have my 7D. So I'm definitely going to take both of my camera bodies and a few other things. I'm going to take, with the R, I'm going to take the 24-105 for vlogging. I'm also going to take my 70-200 with the coupler ring so that I can put the 70-200 either on the 7D or on the R. And I may take, I've got a wide angle lens that it's been acting up when I try and use it with the coupler ring on the R, but I think it'll still work with the 7, so I'll still take it to try and get some beautiful wide angle shots. I'll obviously take my microphone. I'm also going to take the GoPro Hero Black with all 4 batteries. That way I've got enough of a charge, and I'll get back to that in a second. I'm also going to take the Insta360 Go 2, I think, try and get some different style of video. That way I can maybe do vertical and horizontal, just test it out a little bit. And that way I've got some more tools that are easily packed, they're more compact, that I can use, whether that's getting video, whether that's getting photo, especially, y'all all know I love doing this, especially getting some time lapses. The one group of materials that I will not be taking my laptop, I will not be taking my hard drives. I will upload everything later. I'll just make sure that I have probably 2 micro SD cards for the GoPro, 2 CF cards for the 7D, and then I'll make sure that I have at least 2 SD cards for the R. That way I've got plenty of storage and I won't have to worry about it. But if it does come down to it, like I said, I've already been in 2014, so if I need to erase some images, I can. But all this kind of gets back to the one item that I am probably going to have to purchase, and actually it's 2. I am probably going to have to purchase some more battery backups because, like I said, out in the Okefenokee Swamp, there is no electricity. So if I run out of battery, I'm going to have to find some way to charge up the GoPro, to charge up the R again. And the best way to do that is by taking one of those little battery packs. And the good news is they are about as big as this hard drive, so it's not going to take up a lot of space. But that's going to probably be my one biggest requirement, my one biggest safety net, is having enough memory cards and having enough power just so that I can make it through. And it's really only going to be 3 days. We're going to go down, I think, on Saturday, kayak Sunday and Monday, and come back on Tuesday. And so watching Maddie's video about making sure that you talk about something that you're passionate about just kind of reminded me that I haven't talked about that passion, my passion for going out and being in nature kayaking. And I am hoping that as the weather gets warmer here in Augusta, that I will be able to give y'all some more of that, that I'll be able to go out on Betty's Branch, onto the Savannah River, along the Augusta Canal, maybe even hit up the Edisto River and some other areas and give you some of that fun kayaking adventure content and show you a little bit around my neck of the woods doing some of the stuff that I am passionate about and enjoy. So I'm really, really excited about this trip, and hopefully everything will come together perfectly. I'll be able to give you some more content leading up, and I will be able to get some awesome photos and video of the Okefenokee Swamp, and hopefully I'll be able to give you a look into all 3 of my passions combined with photo, video, all while kayaking in the Okefenokee Swamp. So I hope you have a great week. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, if you don't already, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button on your way out, and I will catch you in the next video.